everyone, Masculine Entertainment's here.
And Mama Entertainments, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're discussing one of Disney's most popular recent cartoon in years, the incredible Gravity Falls.
This series has become historic in animation for its story, characters, beautiful animation, and ongoing intense mystery, because everything is not what it seems.
Now, I bet, as you said with a lot of these shows, Alex and I expect this cartoon to just skyrocket in popularity, not just for Disney, but just for animation in general. Mm-hmm. From the time it came on, people were interested. And first you would think, okay, it's just like, mystery in a small town trope, something underneath there. But no, they do so many firsts, break so many tropes that have been used over and over again that are annoying, and they've reverse them to where it takes you by surprise and you're interested, that it keeps you pulled in every episode, even when it's not on the story that is going on.
Right. It's fabulous. It is in the same genre in terms of being groundbreaking as Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra.
Right.
It's definitely in that same category.
And the plot of this show, if you haven't seen it, which is kind of rare now because lots of people have seen it now, is these two twins named Dipper and Mabel, voiced by
Jason
Ritter and Kristen Shaw. And they go to their Grunkle Stan's Mystery Shack for the summer.
Voiced by the creator.
Right, voiced by Alex Hirsch. And it's in, apparently Gravity Falls exists, but it's not called Gravity Falls. They're in Oregon. And Dipper finds this book in the woods. It's like a journal. It has these books of all these strange things that turn out to be real in the town. And the whole series becomes about who is the author of the journals.
Right. And for Gravity Falls fans that want to be true to the series, yes, we do own Journal 3.
Yes. It was the first one. Now they got the fancier one with the dark light and stuff. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You should have done that first.
Exactly. And just raised the price by $4 or $5. We still would have bought it.
Right? And that's special edition. That's a special. It's the actual book, you moron.
Right.
Anyway. I'm talking about Amazon, right? When we first heard about the show, it had been on for a while. Unfortunately, we did not get into the show until shortly after it was off the air. And it was one of the biggest events Disney's ever had with the end of the series.
This show is also a lesson in not listening to what other people tell you about a show and deciding whether you will or won't watch it. You have to give shows a try. And we had seen a lot of stuff on the internet that talked about it being, based on the occult and all these things that you shouldn't allow your children to watch. So I listened. And then Rascal downloaded the first episode. And she says, Mom, I think, can we watch it and really see what it is about?
Right, because my friend Ben Dudley, he uses the show a lot in his videos. And I'd ask him, like, how is this show? And he told me, oh, yeah, it's a great show. And I'm like, okay, I'll try at least one episode to see how it is.
And so we watched the first episode, and Rascal was going crazy. And she looks at me and she says, Mom, what do you think? And I said, I think like everyone else. I'm hooked. That was it, the first episode. And all of those things that we'd heard about and I'd read about weren't even in the series. So these were comments based on people who had never even seen the show.
Right, they looked at the intro and judged it about all the things that are in there.
And the only eye was Bill.
Yeah.
That was the only eye in it.
The antagonist, so you knew it wasn't to trick them, it was saying beware.
Cypher, right.
Yeah, it was saying beware of this. That was it.
So, I'm really sorry that we missed out, and especially Rascal missed out on all of the being in the fandom at the time it was on and enjoying the camaraderie and everything, because I'm in the supernatural fandom and it's just so different when you're actually in it at the time it's on and you're on Twitter and tweeting and you're making friends with other people in the fandom. You missed out on all that. So I'm really sorry. And it was a big lesson for me knowing that we need to watch at least one episode to make a decision and not go based on people, including the Million Moms. And I know the Million Moms are out there and they're very strong in their purpose and believing of making animation and shows and cartoons safe for children. But sometimes you have got to look at the show, at least 1 or 2 episodes, to see if what you're saying is true and not basing it on hearsay or just seeing a trailer. And a lot of times the trailers don't even represent shows and movies properly.
Yeah.
And you're shocked when you actually see the actual movie or TV show and you're like, this trailer is nothing like the show. Right. So this was a great lesson for us.
Yeah, and we saw the first season on demand, had to find the rest online because they were kind of scattering the episodes about. And it starts off like a lot of the Disney shows now. It starts off, okay, there's still danger and stuff, and some weird thing happening every episode. And then once the first season ends and the first antagonist is out of the way, and it makes room for the second one who will become a threat of Bill Cipher, then it starts getting a little darker and pushing you a little more with the violence and stuff, because you get kind of shocked at what they got away with, especially it being Disney, the family company, like with the and then you think when they're saying stuff when they get contact Bill or something, they're saying something, you think, oh, they're saying stuff like in line or something, but no, people reversed it. All they're saying is backwards message, backwards. That was the entire thing. It was never anything bad. It's a backwards message, and that's what they were playing in reverse. That was the whole thing. And they also had codes at the end of every episode, where sometimes it'll just be a funny little message, but it will be a different way to do it. And there were different types of codes to decipher. They were in numbers, go back 3 letters, skip every other letter, and it was different ways of doing it. And then eventually the codes stopped being silly, they started being more serious, foreshadowing what events were to come, and people were speculating at the time, what does this mean? Does this mean Bill is coming? Does this mean this person's coming? What does it mean Gravity Falls? Something dark is coming. It was basically just saying, like, this is the calm before the storm when it got to the mid-season, and it says something big is coming and you need to be prepared for it.
Right. This show has been excellent at using the suspense trope and surprising you with the events and the reveals. I mean, very few things could you figure out. We really couldn't figure them out. And especially that finale. Oh my gosh, that's one of the best season finales I've ever seen on any animated.
The not what he seems.
On any animated or live action show ever. I mean, it was just awesome. And the characters are so well developed and so likable. Even the ones that were strange, like McDuckett.
Old man McGucket. Oh, old man McGucket.
Even when they were strange, they were likable. And then the characters that you thought were bad guys, you learn later they weren't bad guys. And it was just really well written. Alex Hirsch, you are a Jedi master at creating shows that really reel in everyone. And we look forward to either your return of Gravity Falls or Gravity Falls movie.
So far we do have some comics that are out, and that's a lot of people waiting for. The graphic novel came out recently, so we have that.
Or you just creating another show that brings us in and hooks us in the same way. And thank you so much for being a supernatural part of the supernatural family.
Yeah, because
SPF family.
They wear plaid a lot in this show, and plaid's used to ward off ghosts in this show. And it's like,
and also,
what, are they colorblind?
The episode Pacific.
The Northwest Mansion Mystery.
Yes, it is a shout out to one of the episodes of Supernatural. So, woohoo! Supernatural family.
And for the characters, we can quickly go down the list. We got, of course, Dipper and Mabel. We got the Grunkle Stan. We got Seuss, who's the handyman of the Mystery Shack.
Also voiced by Alex Hirsch.
Right. You have little Waddles, the pig, that came in a couple episodes later.
Voiced by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, in one episode, the pig gained intelligence, and he was so smart. That's the voice that came out. It was so funny. He said, "Yes, it is me,
and
Waddles, the pig."
And we were fangirling and geeking all over, screaming and yelling that they actually had chosen him. And he actually had decided to voice this character in his animated show.
It is me, Waddles, the pig. And I love his last line. Is that really that friendship matters more than all the science in the world. Also, I like getting my tummy tickled. Like, he makes everything sound intelligent through the pig. That is just hilarious.
And then he had Wendy Corduroy.
Yeah, who Dipper had a crush on. And then they only made fun of him. And it was funny because Mabel dated somebody who was older than her, and no one said anything. But when it came to Dipper, all of a sudden, it's like, okay, what's the difference?
And she's an ultimate cool, chill girl like Jackie in
Right.
Star vs. the Force of Evil.
Right. And who else they had? Okay, Gideon, who was supposed to be a psychic, and he became a real nuisance near the end of the first
Little
season.
Gideon.
Yes, and who's voiced by Flapjack. If you know the show Flapjack from Cartoon Network, that's the same guy.
And he was hilarious. I mean, even when, he had his little dark turn and you were like, whoa. But again, the ones who you thought were bad guys had redemption arcs and it really worked out.
Right.
And then you also had
you had the sheriff.
Wendy's boyfriend.
Oh yeah, Robbie Valentino. We knew like Robbie it was Robert Valentine.
Rudolph
right?
Valentino.
Rudolph Valentino.
Who was someone even your grandparents probably don't
Yeah.
He was like a star of 20 silent movies.
And I got the joke when it's his name's Robbie Valentino. And from what I know, when I looked up that one time, he was a heartthrob.
Right.
And here, no one wanted him.
Right.
That was the whole joke. He was the total opposite of the parody.
Right.
That was hilarious. He was voiced by T.J. Miller.
And then, like you said, the sheriff
And the deputy.
Right.
Yeah, Sheriff Blubbs and Deputy Darlin. And I'm like, how are you protecting this town half the time? You gotta have more police force in this. And then they had
Gucket, as we mentioned
right,
earlier.
and then the kind of sort of mean girl, Pacifica Northwest, and you realize that's a pun too, isn't it?
Yes, and you didn't even give McGucket any love. Pacifica Northwest Highway in California, yes.
And old man McGucket, he's also voiced by Alex Serge, and he's portrayed as the crazy old coot of the town doing crazy stuff. And as you see, there's still more to him as there's these other characters in the show.
And I was really surprised when Rascal told me that this was Alex Hirsch voicing these different characters because they sound nothing alike.
Right.
I mean, he's got a little Tom Kenny going on there because I was really surprised.
Right, he did several voices in there and they all sounded different.
And then don't forget Stanford and Stampine.
Yeah, Stanley and then Ford, who you find out later, he's voiced by Jimmy K. Simmons, and he's Stan's twin.
Right.
So twins apparently run in this family.
Right.
And you see, he's the complete opposite of Stan, and you get to see that Dipper is a lot like Ford, and Mabel is a lot like Stan.
Right.
So, in a way, that has run in the family. You can only imagine what the parents are like.
Right.
But
whom we never saw.
Yeah, they were just shipped out there, and then you never saw them.
This show did so much for the Disney franchise that it needed. It needed a shot. It really needed something that you were used to Disney and the movies and so forth, and Disney had this image that you knew. It had the traditional Phineas and Ferb shows and things like that, but Gravity Falls was a whole different animal, and it gave them a heavily needed dose of difference that they needed.
Right.
It put them back on the map of showing you why Disney stays number one, and they gave an opportunity to a newcomer to the animation
industry.
Yes, with his writing and his voice acting and his development of characters and everything. This is definitely a jewel in Disney's crown.
Right.
Absolutely.
And a couple more things I definitely want to mention. After the show was over, people were really sad about going off. I didn't care at the time because I didn't watch it, but now it's like, oh, it's over, because now I almost cry every time I get to the end. You see them
And Wendy took
drive
Dipper's
off.
hat.
Oh gosh, why are you still on that? They when they drive off, it almost makes you want to cry. Like this is it. They had a couple things that the show was gone. Alex had a cipher hunt because there was a code at the end, and then a live action footage of the cipher statue was broken. It wasn't animated, and he announced that there was a hunt that you could actually go out in California and go find the cipher statue, and you bring it back and you unlock something. So people are actually going to California to find the statue, and someone online, and we know, actually did find it. And the reward, when all these people found it, you got to see the original pilot and how the show looked before Disney got to it, and they made all these changes.
Now that original pilot was really steeped in the occult, in some terms, but to me it was like a supernatural episode.
Right.
He's a supernatural fan, Dean and Sam, because that pilot episode was just oozing with supernatural tropes and everything.
Right.
But to make it kid friendly, yes, Disney did a really good job in having it adapted so that it would be friendly for adults and children, and just be a show with characters you love, and not looking at it and going, I don't know if I want to watch this. Mm-hmm. Now, if they were going to have something to say about a show, the pilot, if they had seen the pilot and made those comments, it would have made sense to me. But they weren't basing those comments on the pilot. They were basing them on the actual, on the actual show itself. Right. And there was something else you wanted to bring up.
Yes. When Gravity Falls first went off, they kind of did like what the people did for Black Panther. They said, like, okay, Gravity Falls over. It was a great show. What should we watch next? And everyone kept saying, go to Star vs. the Force of Evil. They helped pick the show, get the show even more viewership than usual. Because it was pretty much competing with Gravity Falls and Wander, because it was kind of sort of known, but it wasn't as popularity as it is now, because Gravity Falls was their top show, and Wander was second. Star was kind of, sort of there, but people watched it. After Gravity Falls went off, all these videos probably going to say, okay, Gravity Falls is over, and I think you should watch Star vs. the Force of Evil next. That's the next thing to go to, and get that show going probably, because it's actually really good, especially if you're into, the genre it is. Right. And I think part of that helped the show and get a bigger audience, because all these people from Gravity Falls watched the show and they went, oh, so do a crossover with Star and Gravity Falls. They would love to see that. And I think that helped it. Both shows helped each other out because of the style they took, and Gravity Falls' popularity helped Star's popularity.
Well, no summer schedule of podcasts could be complete without Gravity Falls, especially since they were there for summer vacation. Right. And we just had to give some love to Gravity Falls. We know it's over and the series is ended, but again,
people still remember
we can hope for a sequel. We can hope for a continuation. We can hope for a movie.
Right.
There's always hope.
Yeah.
Right, Dipper?
One more thing I was going to mention. Alex Hirsch is actually friends with Darren Nefsey, so she put him in an episode of Star recently that came out called Booth Buddies, and he was this little troll, and he posted it on Twitter saying that he was going to voice him, and he posted a fake spoiler, and he said, I'm so sorry I had to do that, but please don't fire me. She said, too late, I already replaced you, and you still hurt him, and he said, you're trying to be like him, you can never be Alex Hirsch, but it was just so funny.
And he sounded like Seuss, close to Seuss.
Yeah, and he was the one that made Starco canon. Like, we should have been on here like 2 seasons ago. All it took was him to come on here.
Right. So, thank you so much for joining us for this Gravity Falls Love Fest. We love you, Gravity Falls. We love you, Alex Hirsch. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
Wow.
Flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? My man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to you later on in the form of a locket.